Today on Nerd Out, Socious. Welcome back to Nerd Out, the show where we take a look at Cardano, we break it down, but we don't dumb it down. Today, I'm joined by founder and developer of the Socious platform, Seira Yoon. He's out of the Japanese community. He's the founder at Socious.io. He is an interim constitutional committee member. He's also a Cardano ambassador, VREP, stake pool operator. Seira, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi. Hi, Andrew, and hi, everyone. So thank you so much for having me. So my name is Seira. I'm the founder of Socious. And yeah, I've been in the Cardano community since 2021. And yeah, as Andrew mentioned, I've been wearing many hats in the community. And it's been great to meet Andrew in person finally in Vietnam recently at Cardano Builder Fest. Yes,
I love the t-shirt. I'm wearing the t-shirt today.
Great. Yeah, that was a great event, and hanging out with other builders. That was one of the best events this year so far. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. It was incredible to meet a lot of the Asian community, including yourself, in Da Nang at the Builder Fest. Typically, it felt like, for me, the community was kind of fragmented between kind of Europe and America. Like, we would travel back and forth to see each other, those communities, and then every once in a while, we'd get somebody from the Japanese community or the Asian community to come over and see us. But like, this was really good because there was a big delegation that traveled to Da Nang, exact other side of the globe for me. But it was a lot of fun, and I got to meet a lot of the community that's building some really incredible stuff over there.
Yeah, so that was really neat. That was amazing, because most of the events, like within the Cardano community, happen in the US, in Europe, in Dubai, and it's been quite tough for me and the other Asian community members to participate in those events. And yeah, it was great to have this event, Cardano Builder Fest, in Vietnam. And we also had Tech for Impact Summit last year and this year as well in October. So I think there will be more and more events happening in Asia, and that will be amazing to have more visitors. I think once in a while, North Americans and South Americans, Europeans can travel to Asia, and we can hang out there.
Yeah, no, incredible place, incredible countries, incredible culture, incredible food. It was great all around. And again, it was really nice to meet you. So let's dive into Socious a little bit. Socious is not just one thing, it's many things. Why don't you give us kind of a high-level overview of what the Socious platform is designed to do, and kind of what does it mean to be a social impact company?
Yeah, so Socious is a decentralized ecosystem like Cardano, and it's built on Cardano. And our mission is to give everyone a chance to make a difference. So we help people create change through different platform, different products that we have. So one platform I want to mention and delve deep into is Socious Fund. So this is kind of similar to Catalyst. And if you know Gitcoin, so it's a mixture of Catalyst and Gitcoin. So we are distributing funds through a quadratic voting mechanism to different projects, open source projects, and other impactful social and environmental impact projects. So that's the one product we have. We have also Socious Work. So that connects companies that are creating change with engineers, with developers, with designers, with contributors who want to contribute to their mission. And we have Socious Academy, that is an educational branch that helps you gain necessary skills to contribute and get matched through Socious work and contribute to different companies. And all of these products are supported by Socious Verify and Socious Wallet. So Socious Wallet is a self-sovereign identity wallet built on Hyperledger Identis, formerly known as Teleprism. So
Awesome.
Yeah, so many of you know about Teleprism. Now it's just a name change to Hyperledger Identis, and we are using that technology to offer verifiable credentials and decentralized identifiers, DIDs, and we have also a no-code platform, kind of Stripe for SSI and DIDs and verifiable credentials that companies use, organizations use to issue credentials, and individuals can use Socious Wallet to receive credentials.
Right.
And finally,
sorry. Oh, keep going. I'll ask
So
after.
quite a lot of products and services. So, but finally, it's Tech for Impact Summit. So we organize this annual event, mostly for, but also including non-Cardano community members, annually in Japan, in Tokyo, to promote collaboration between Cardano and other blockchain technologies to impactful projects. So that's Tech for Impact Summit. This year, it's going to happen in October.
Awesome. Very cool. So you talked a little bit. Let's start with the Verify platform, because that's kind of like tying all the different things together. So we've heard a lot about DIDs. We haven't seen a lot of implementations yet on Cardano, and yours is one of the first implementations. So how can companies that are not part of the Socious platform still leverage that in their dApps? Because there are dApps out there that do require, KYC, verification, identity things. How can they use the Socious platform to achieve those goals quicker, faster, easier?
Yeah, good question. So DIDs and verifiable credentials, for us, there are quite a few use cases, but for us, we focus on two use cases. One is immutable record of certificates. So like certificates that are impossible to forge. So that's one part. The other part is selective disclosure and being able to own your identity, own your information, and share whatever you want. You can control your identity. So let me explain the first part. So we have MOUs and collaboration with 16 different universities and many other normal companies. So these universities actually use our technology to issue their diplomas and transcripts. And their use case is that there are many people who fake their certificates, like educational certificate, diplomas, and transcripts, and it will tarnish their reputation as well, their recognition. So they want to tackle this issue, and using DIDs and verifiable credentials, they can do that because of the secure system. They can issue credentials once, and for example, potential employers or background check agencies, they can just scan the QR code and read on the blockchain that these certificates, like diplomas and work certificates or transcripts, are indeed authentic without calling the university, emailing the university whether these certificates are authentic. So it saves their time, it saves cost. So it makes everyone happy. So that's one use case. So if you have a company and maybe your company is reputable and maybe your former employees apply for other companies, and then they're asking for your reference and doing reference checks, background checks, and but if your company becomes big, then that number of inquiries get bigger as well. Like Google, like Amazon, they get these background check calls all the time, right? So actually, you can use our service, our technology, to issue credential once and forget about it, because people can actually verify the authenticity of these certificates on the blockchain. So that's one potential use case. And another use case I want to talk about is the selective disclosure element. And I want to talk about this in the context of Socious Fund, right? So Socious Fund is a quadratic voting powered grant distribution platform. So similar to Catalyst, but and Catalyst is going to implement quadratic voting as well in Fund 14, and we are collaborating with them. We are good friends of the Catalyst team at IOG as well, but we have different approaches. So Socious Fund, we have a more robust system to prevent Sybil attacks or wallet split, people splitting their stakes. And whereas Catalyst, in order to increase the participation rate, they decided not to do that. And we respect that decision, but we just have different experiments that we're trying this round to see what works best. But basically, we use DIDs for to prevent people from splitting their wallets and then keeping their voting power. And how we do that, and without compromising their user experience, is that we have this reusable KYC or reusable identity verification. So once you do the KYC, so you have to do the document verification, etc. But you do that once, and you can share that in many places. And so now we're in talks with Intersect, in Catalyst. So like potentially, if you do that once, you can basically, you don't need to do it at least within the Cardano ecosystem. And in some places in Japan, they accept our reusable KYC. So, and the beauty of it is that in our community, in our sector, many people want to stay anonymous, right? So we make it possible to stay anonymous by using selective disclosure and zero knowledge proofs. So what we are verifying on the platform itself is that you're a unique human being, unique individual. There's no duplicate. That's it. So actually, the platform doesn't know who you are. The platform doesn't know your name, your gender, your age, anything. We just know that you are a human being and there's no duplicate of you. And so that will give more security, peace of mind for our users, that we don't want to keep that sensitive information, right? And using DID and your information, your personal information stays on the wallet, on your device.
Yeah, so let's talk about wallets, because there's a lot of confusion about that. You have the Socious wallet, and that is available on iOS and Android. How is that different from how is an SSI wallet different from a Cardano wallet? Can you explain the difference there and why you would use one for some use cases and another for other use cases?
Yeah, very, very good question. So the Cardano crypto wallets, they contain assets, right? So Cardano native assets and ADA. And so this is to transact your assets. And identity wallets, they contain identity information. So it could be your KYC verifiable credentials, or it could be your diplomas, it could be your other types of work certificates, medical records, etc. So it doesn't actually hold any crypto assets. So like no ADA, no native assets. So that's a big difference. And another difference is, I know it's a kind of like misnomer that we both we call them both wallets, but the content of these wallets are completely different, and the technology itself is quite different. It similar in many senses, but also quite different. And so how SSI works is that we have this trust triangle. So we have holder who holds the IDs and verifiable credentials, and we have issuer. So in our case, let's call it a university, right? So we have a partnership with Nairobi University, and Nairobi University is the issuer, and then Nairobi University issues a diploma to a student, the holder, and let's say I don't know, IOG is a potential employer who wants to verify that this person actually attended and graduated from Nairobi University. So IOG in this case is the verifier. Okay, so we have this trust triangle, and in crypto assets everything is on chain, but in SSI we have certain elements that are on chain and other elements that are off chain. And this off-chain part, I believe it's very important because that allows you to maintain your privacy. So actually, without using Midnight or other privacy-oriented blockchain, like SSI wallets actually achieve many things already. So the only thing that is on-chain is the issuer DID. In this case, the Nairobi University, the DID is on chain. It's published, and when we do that, we have like ADA fees as well. So that's the on chain part, and everything else is off chain. Even the DID for the holder, the student or the graduate, and the verifiable credentials, they're also off chain, and everything happens between peer connections between holder and issuer and holder and verifier. So connections are established, and then make sure that you can verify that these certificates are authentic. So because the DID, issuer DID is on chain, you can read the on chain and verify that this verifiable credential was issued by a trusted entity in Nairobi University. And that will give us the trust that this is not tampered and issued by legit trusted agent. So that's the mechanism. I know it's easier to show the diagram, but I hope it makes sense.
Yeah, it should make sense to our listeners. I think they've been educated a little bit on how self-sovereign identity SSI works. So it's basically like a wallet where it only holds ID documents, like it holds driver's license, or it holds, proof of residence, or all these, or, your diplomas. It only holds things that are about you, and those cannot be transferred. Whereas crypto wallet, like you said, is just assets. It doesn't hold identity, and everything is transferable. That's more of your, holding your cash and your tokens and everything else in it. So they have two different purposes. So when you interact with one dApp, you might connect both types of wallets. So you might connect your Socious wallet to identify yourself to the dApp, and then you would connect your Cardano wallet to do transactions with that dApp after they have verified your credentials. Is that accurate?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. It's already happening on Socious Fund. So you can donate. At the moment, we are accepting. Actually, we just added USDM, JED, USDA, in addition to ADA that we had. So you are actually connecting Socious wallet. You do that once to verify your identity, so that you cannot vote many times and increase your voting power.
Right.
And the platform also allows you to donate. And with that, you're using not Socious wallet, but Eternal, Lays, Yoroi, etc. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So any DApp that needs this type of KYC or verifiable credential could use, optionally, instead of just doing a KYC themselves, they could use the Socious wallet and their KYC to kind of reuse that. Is that correct?
That is correct. So I guess like KYC process for us, it will take about 2 minutes. But if you already have the reusable KYC in your wallet, that time is reduced to like 30 seconds, and they don't need to go through like document verification, selfie, etc. So all they need to do is scan the QR code with your wallet. That's it, and it will take
awesome
20 seconds, and it will also allow you to remain anonymous and protect your privacy.
Cool. Let's change gears a little bit and talk about kind of big picture. You decided to create this social impact company. Why did you choose Cardano for building it on top of?
Yeah, good question. So impact sector came before Cardano. So like I've been in the impact sector since I guess 2008. And so I started my career in the UN, the nonprofit sector, and humanitarian sector. So that was like my career before Cardano and any like technology, etc. And so in 2018, I started my first company. So that was the not super very technical company, but it was company matching people to, especially refugees and migrants, to different jobs in the countryside of Japan. So that was my journey. And then I exited the company in 2021. And I had some time. So I was looking at different options. And one of the first thing that came to me is that when I exited my company was through merger and acquisition, M&A, and felt like, because my previous company was also for social impact for society, but somehow, I sold the company, and the benefit of that is concentrated in me, right? So I bootstrapped, so I held the entirety of the company, and then I sold it. So I felt a little bit uncomfortable in that position, and I was looking at different options to mitigate that disparity, inequality in that sphere. And I came upon decentralized autonomous organization, right? So that is something I felt like, okay, if I were to do another project, I didn't want to exit through IPO or M&A, but to the community. And that was, I found it beautiful. That was towards the end of 2020. And so that's something, that was like my first entrance into the blockchain and crypto world, right? And also, as I realized, blockchain technology is actually revolutionary in the sense that it can bring in more trust to the transactions, right? And how I study things, I want to get to like the beginning, like history of it, and then study backwards. So I read the original white paper, Satoshi Nakamoto white paper, Bitcoin white paper, and then it's in the paper it mentions the word trust, like every sentence is about trust, right? Okay, blockchain is about trust, and it's basically a technology that allows you to trust each other without intermediary.
Right.
And that's something beautiful, because in the impact sector, what I've witnessed with my own eyeballs is that there's lack of trust, whether you are donating and, whether you want to make sure that 90% of that donation is going to the cause instead of 90% going to the operational costs. And, there's a term at the time, it wasn't popular, but now it's popular, like impact washing, purpose washing, greenwashing, like pretending that you're doing great, you're doing something good for the world and environment, but not in reality, not really.
Right.
So these are all trust issues, right? And trust is quite important in the social impact sector. And blockchain can actually solve that. So you can have on-chain records, and that donation issue is solved, and verifiable credentials can actually solve a lot of issues in terms of greenwashing. You can trace back to how the carbon credits are produced, and we can solve many of the issues, supply chain, traceability, etc. So this is revolutionary. And okay, so I want to study more about blockchain, and then I went through all the top 100 coins at the time, towards the end of 2020, 2021. And Cardano was always on top. And at some point, it was like number 3. And so at the time, when I came into the sector, the predominant discourse was Ethereum and Cardano. I know there were others like Polkadot and Cosmos and Polygon, other things, but according to my research, it was Ethereum and Cardano at the time. And then I stumbled upon, while I was doing research and just trying to understand where should I go in terms of which chain I should choose, because I guess you cannot I guess like you need to choose one first, right? And so in that research process, I stumbled upon Charles Hoskinson's TED Talk from 2014. So towards the end of 2014, Charles filmed. I'm sure many of the listeners have watched it. I've watched it so many times. And so this was about using blockchain technology to solve social and environmental issues. And
now that's interesting that you came in through that TED Talk, because most people say they watched the whiteboard video, which is the technical side, and I like all the technology that this is doing. It's interesting that you were sold on the social vision of what blockchain can achieve.
Good point. So I watched the whiteboard video after the TED Talk, and the TED Talk was really inspiring. That changed many things, right? So I think the vision. Charles is very eloquent, and he's really good at picturing the vision. And so in that video, he talked about banking them back, and I think it's possible, and it's happening now through the blockchain technology. And that vision kind of transformed. And after 10 years, the title of the video is "The Future Will Be Decentralized," right? And then exactly 10 years later, the end of 2024, right? So in December, I was in Buenos Aires, and at the time, so Buenos Aires and Kenya, we had constitutional conventions, and then that's when the actual decentralization of Cardano and the signing of the Constitution happened. And the preamble of the Constitution, the first sentence says, Cardano is a decentralized ecosystem of blockchain technology, smart contracts, and community governance, committed to improving political, social, political, economic, and social systems for everyone, everywhere, right? So that sentence is coming from Charles' tweet that was pinned for a long time. But that vision, it remains the same from 10 years ago, 2014 TED Talk, to improve economic, political, social systems for everyone, everywhere. And that's why I chose Cardano. There's an alignment with the Cardano vision and Socious vision to give everyone a chance to make a difference. So it was no-brainer for us to choose Cardano. And Socious is not the only one. I know that there were.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of us that are around for that vision. Like I personally gave up good paying jobs in the private sector to make a whole lot less money. But, it's, at the end of the day, it is about improving the social systems, improving the governments, improving the financial systems of the world. And, at some point you have to decide what's important to you. Are you in it for the money, or are you in it for the technology, or are you in it for the changing the world aspects of it? And I think it can be a little bit of all three of those. But yeah, I think in these early days, it is important to keep that social vision in mind. Like that is kind of the end goal of where we want to go with this technology, is to actually change some of these systems that are in many ways holding the world back.
Absolutely. And I've seen many people like you who came to Cardano, living high-paying jobs, but for the vision, for the mission, and I think that is the biggest selling point, USP that we have. I hope that marketing people in the Cardano are listening to this. That I think we should leverage this aspect, because this mission and vision can bring in a lot of people, talented people, to the ecosystem, and we can do great things together.
No, I think that is something a little unique to Cardano, and Bitcoin to some extent. That the message a little bit has been lost with Bitcoin and crypto, is that it's about making money, it's about holding your value. And yes, it is about those things, but the original first block of Bitcoin was a response to what they saw as government overreach. The banks doing bailouts, printing money out of thin air, things that the people did not consent to, but they had to accept because they didn't, the government just did it by fiat. And so there is this aspect that blockchain technology is able to overcome some of those things. And I think that we need to hang on to that as kind of our core truth going forward, is that really is what the blockchain revolution is about, is, we don't want governments in charge of our money. This is more of the people's money. And we want to be able to change social structures. We want to add trust back to institutions. And like you said, there's a lot in the social sector that requires trust. Like, I need to be able to trust that my money is going and having the impact that I want it to have if I'm donating.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's on the other side too. They can add trust to their organizations to say, hey, you can trust us with your money. See, here's exactly where things are going.
Absolutely.
No, it's really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Let's switch gears one final time. So if you were to address kind of Cardano end users, and then maybe also Cardano developers, what are some things you would want them to do to interact with the Socious platform? Like, this is the call to action part. How do you want them to use your tools, use your platform, etc.?
Yes. Maybe I want to focus on maybe two things. One is please vote in the Socious Fund pilot round at the moment that is going on. Okay. So the pilot round is something that Socious actually donated $10,000 for as a pilot round and to actually test this concept. And we would love that for you to join our movement, vote, and it doesn't cost any money to actually vote in this. And if you want to donate, I think the projects will be happy to receive your ADA or other stable tokens on Cardano. And this will actually allow you to increase your reputation score. So we combine quadratic voting with reputation score to avoid manipulative votes. So like reputation score will help increase the community members' voting power, and outsiders, first time, they will not have a big voting power. But as they become deeper into the community members, then they will have more say. So it's kind of like catalyst, reviewer, 0, level 1, level 2, etc.
Right.
So you have
kind
those
of a
levels.
proof of reputation that continually grows.
Exactly.
And so where do they go to start on that? Do they just get the app first, or do they go to your website first?
Yeah, so you can go to socious.org. That's for the fund, Socious Fund.
Okay.
And you can vote. I think it will take less than 3 minutes to vote. And if you already have the reasonable KYC, it will be like 30 seconds. So
I'll put
that's
links to all this in the video description for everybody.
Thank you. Yeah, so that's one thing. And this will also, I wanted to mention that thanks to all the community members' support, our budget proposal for Cardano budget 2025 has been pre-approved. So for the first round, and this will allow us to deploy 1.5 million ADA to different projects through the system. So this is in conjunction with Catalyst. So Catalyst will have like 20 million ADA, and we'll have a smaller experiment, 1.5 million ADA, in the next 6 months. So if you have open source projects, if you have any projects that are related to social and environmental impact, I would encourage you to submit your proposals, and people can vote, and maybe you can receive funding, right? And if you vote in this round, pilot round, your voting power will increase for the round. The next round will be 500K ADA, and the third round will be 1 million ADA. So it will be a great opportunity for you to raise funding for your projects.
Excellent. And then what about developers? If developers want to get involved or use some of your technology for their own dApps, where do they go, and how do they interact with it?
Yeah. So all of our repos are public and it's open source, and you can play with it. And also Hyperledger Identitas repository, we contributed to that repo as well. And our contribution is to have the wallet SDK. It allows you to remove the seed phrase and like a mnemonic, and you can try it out and give us opinions. And we're always looking for collaborators. So if you can join our Discord, and we have full-time members, full-time engineers, but also some projects that we have that we collaborate with as well. And we encourage everyone to join us in Japan in October. It's 7th of October. This week we have Blockchain Expo from 8th to 10th, and we are expecting IOG, Cardano Foundation, Intersect, and Emergo to host a series of side events during this week, and just 1 week after Token 2049 in Singapore. So if you are in the US or in Europe, make your way to Asia, first to Singapore, and to Japan. So you have a 2-week Asia tour, and we'll have a lot of engineers, a lot of builders from Cardano and outside of Cardano. So we would love to see you there.
Excellent. And lastly, let's mention that you are a DREP. So if people want to delegate to your DREP ID, I will put that in the video description as well. And you also run 2 stake pools. One is the Socio pool. The other is the Thank pool. One of those is an ISPO pool, so you can get additional tokens from that pool on drip drops if you delegate to. Is it the Socio pool or the Thank pool? I don't recall.
So Thank pool is the ISPO pool, and you'll get our tokens, and your tokens will allow you to get free tickets for Tech for Impact Summit. And also, if you actually finish your get your reusable KYC, you get 1,000 Thank. And
Awesome.
If you vote, you get 100 Thank as well. So we have some incentive programs going around now.
Yes. And just for people to explain it, there's the Socio token, and then there's Thank. Thank is like the Lovelace to Socio's ADA. So it's a Thank is the smallest unit of Socio.
Exactly. So 1 million Thank equals 1 Socio.
Very cool. Okay. Well, thank you for being on the show. I think we'll wrap it up here. And again, really interesting stuff. Thank you for your time and participating in this kind of Meet the Builders on Nerd Out.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I hope you guys enjoyed that discussion with Seira from Socious.io. And with that, Nerd Out.